And this is why also this journey is always can only be taken individually. There is not, there is no legislation or standard religion that you can, put on everyone else. You have to really find your own thing, what it is about you, what is your inner wish, what is your inner desire, what makes your body sing, to what's your own frequency, kind of, that makes you swing naturally, that makes you feel, in tune with yourself, because it's your individual music, your own life music, your own frequency.
This is a very, very fresh air now when you say this. This is a very fresh. I feel all my body in the fresh air.
Mm-hmm. And it's really, I think it's like, like a plant or like a flower when the wind comes and you're like, rocking forwards and backwards. And it's, and this is, I think, what it is, that is for me consciousness 3.0. To be in your, going through, yes, the hurdle, the trauma, the injuries, they are part of it. You have to go through it. There is no turning back around it. If you think you can have be on a, animal farm where everything is pink and flower puffy and kumbaya, yeah, you can smoke another cigarette if you want to and beam yourself up to Star Trek or wherever you want to. But it's because I mentioned Star Trek, here again, look at the original story of Gene Roddenberry with Star Trek. Humanity has stopped war. You can only stop war when you stop the war inside yourself and look at yourself where you have been a victim and also where you have been a perpetrator. Only then you can go in a good two-way communication without projections and all. And the rest is human as well. I mean, we are not saints. We are not, in heaven. Well, we try to create heaven here, but we still are humans with all the flaws and the itches and the pains and the problems. I mean, they will not go away. Yeah. And that's good, because only through this we learn. Otherwise, we wouldn't learn. We wouldn't progress.
But there is 2 points. One of them that we are in heaven. We are in heaven.
Yes.
Because I was so suffering in all my life. The people come to me and say, "You have the face of suffering."
Oh.
Your suffering face. And I don't like, of course, that the people will say this to me, but inside of me, I realize that it's true, because my mind is always thinking about something, suffering for myself. I feel myself free to see this suffering, but not like this skin, suffering like this. Oh, this is my suffering. Okay, I put or not. Know this is part of me, but it's like a little distance now. I could be more happy now.
Yes.
I could enjoy every part of my joy.
and the picture of your glasses is perfect, because on one side you look at it, you see it, but you see more than just the suffering.
Yes, this is, I can take my eyes on it, or I know that it's here, but I look at my window, this is wonderful. And this is happened to me because this is the way that I start to see myself and change myself, and maybe make some jokes with my grandchildren,
Yeah.
But suddenly I was in this so beautiful way to do this self-encounter, and other people will start to ask me, what do you do, what you see, what do you think about this, and then I start to be so nice in my life. This is a very interesting, you change your point of view.
Yes. And that's the most important one, I think, about, I see a lot of people who stay in this. They put their trauma glasses on and they never come out of it because they put it on exactly like you have shown. And I always say, and also don't say it doesn't exist. That's the other part of the battle. The one is who put them on, and the other one, but it doesn't exist.
Yes.
It's not happening. No, it didn't happen to me. Nothing happened to me. No, it's maybe for you, but
yes,
I'm not. So, and what you just said, that's exactly, I think, the healthy, the autonomous, and also the enjoying the life,
yes.
Perspective as well, is like, yeah, it's part of my story. It's part of my history. But it doesn't define me. And I am not trauma only, Yes, it happened to me. Part of it happened to me, but I'm more than that. And there's more to life than just trauma. And I think that is the important part. And that is then, for me, again, this is when everything connects. I always have then the feeling of being the connection to, especially to nature. This is when things make sense then to me. This is when I get more easy, and and I think like, well, okay, you have your problems, deal with them, but I will not take your glasses on, to be honest. I stay away, and I can tell you what I see, but I'm not, I'm staying out of your stuff,
This is the growing of the healthy eye.
Yeah.
It's growing, and then there is not so much space to take inside of you the trauma and the stuff.
Yeah, because people who have experienced this type of thing, it's like a backpack, I always say. And they are so used, to put another stone into the backpack and another one. It's getting heavier and heavier. And the problem is, the older you get, because we have now we are not 20 anymore. So, and that's the thing people need to know. When you're younger, you think, oh, maybe these two ladies are talking bullshit. It will never happen to me. Life is good, etc. But when you get older, and I see it with people who are still stuck on the same bus line, on the same train line, when they don't want to look at these glasses. Oh, it's getting heavy when they get older. It's getting super heavy. And then chronic diseases or Alzheimer's, dementias, and all these things are kicking in,
For me, it's like a river. It's like a river that you have a piece of three, Okay, when you are young, it's only one piece and stay a little bit and go. But when you are older, there is many pieces, and the river is not possible to go through.
Yes.
To go to the other path, to go to and then you have to take off these pieces.
Exactly. And it's not that life is punishing you, because then people always say it like, oh, that's punishment.
The
Please.
karma.
It's not punishment, it's part of your life. And I always also say, thank God we have no war. We have times of peace, because only when you have times of peace, you can do these type of work that we are doing right now, the self-encounters. And there are many different other ways as well. It's not that self-encounter is the only holy truth, There are tons of ways, as people are on this planet, we got to know each other and we have chosen this path, but there are many, many other paths as well, and that's the reason. Take it as a present, as an opportunity, and not again as a punishment and something you have to endure. Because I remember when I started, it was all negative. I mean, everything was always the language. And also when you talk about trauma, it gives you, it can pull you down. Exactly. And that's the reason why, for instance, I turned my language, and now I'm talking about physical, psychological, and soul injuries. And then I explain what can happen, pre-birth and post-birth. And when I give real life example, then people say, oh yes, that was also with me. That happened also to me. By the way, and then they tell me things, and then afterwards they tell me, I never told anyone this story before. You're the first one. But then we are in a communication of human being to human being.
Yes.
And then we touch our hearts when we tell our stories, and we don't need to be dead for our story to be told, or famous that someone is telling our story.
Yes.
These times are really gone. Now every one of us can tell our stories. And this is where we then meet